Shalom, Israel, giving honor and praise to the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'Shem. Psst. Hey, we got next. Shalom, Israel, giving honor and praise to the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'Shem Mashiach Yahushua, for the blessing and the reading and the understanding to His holy and righteous words. Now, I want to wish every Black, Hispanic, and Native American Seminole Indian, I just want to wish you a happy Monday to get reset and started back through the week. Sorry I missed you guys on the Sabbath. I just really needed to hunker down and do a lot of studying to show myself approved, right? And so we're going to get this thing going today. The name of this lesson is called, Who Are We? Right? So I got a lot of new people, tuning in to the channel. And for a lot of us Israelites, we are very well versed in the scriptures, and we can go deep down the rabbit hole, and a lot of other people probably won't be able to keep up. So we always have to do a recap and go back to the basics, and give an understanding of who are we to our people, right? A lot of times it'll go above a person's pay grade because they haven't got down the ladder that we have, right? So we always have to go back and do a recap, all right? So this is what this lesson is who are we, which is, you see on the thumbnail, got milk. So we got to go back to the milk of the Bible, right? And we have to find out who are we. So I want to go first to 1 Peter 2:2, just to verify and show y'all, to the new viewers, what we do, right? And when I get to this, I'm going to show you the milk, and then I'm going to show you how to read the Bible, right? So pull out your 1611 King James Version Bible with the Apocrypha. If you don't have a Bible on hand at home, you can look in your Google Play Store, or you can look in your Apple Store and pull out these Bibles. Just make sure you look up the KJV with the Apocrypha. Don't pick the NIV or none of those new ones. They've been tampered with. So that's why we stick to the King James Version Bible, right? Which was a black man. It wasn't a white man for the new eyes, okay? King James was a black king, all right? He was the last black king of Scotland, and other kings as well, kingdoms as well, right? But that's another story in itself, and I can go deeper into that, but not today, right? So pull out your 1611 King James Version Bible with the Apocrypha, and let's go to 1 Peter's 2:2. All right, are y'all there? Let's get it. 1 Peter's 2:2. As newborn babes desire sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. All right, so that's why the Lord compares us to babies, right? Because when you just become woke in this truth, you are a baby, right? It doesn't matter your age. Spiritually, you are a babe. For one, you don't know who you are, okay? For two, we don't know to keep the commandments of the Father, right? So these are the things, just like a baby, we don't know no better. So now we have to relearn the Bible again, just like a baby had to relearn, the things in the ways of growing up into adulthood. This is what you're doing spiritually when it comes to the word, right? And that go for me and a lot of other people who first became woke. This is not a prideful race, right? It's not about, oh, I'm older than you, there's nothing you can tell me. No, because there's some people that's younger than me that well versed in these scriptures where I listen to that person at times. Like, dang, man, that was deep. I need to show me some more of that, right? So this is a very humbling walk, right? Because it's about your spirit in this point. It's not about age. It's about spiritual growth. And if you've been asleep all these years, it doesn't matter if you're 50, 60, 70, you are a newborn if you still walking around calling yourself African American, right? You are a newborn in this, and you need to be awakened and fed with spiritual milk, right? So now we're going to go to another one. Let's go to Isaiah to show you how to read the Bible, right? So you're going to notice when you get around Israelites, we do a lot of jumping around, but it's in context and it makes sense to what we're saying because it goes right along with it. We're not cherry picking what a Christian will tell you. We're going to show you there's a way. The Bible is a puzzle, and the Lord hid it in plain sight, because he knew when he woke his children, we would know how to break down the puzzle and put them together. All right, it's like a Da Vinci Code, and it was quite genius if you ask me. All right, so let's go to Isaiah 28:10, and this is going to show you how to read the Bible. Right, you can't read it like a novel book. You can't go from of Genesis and just read all the way to Revelations like a story. It's certain points in certain scriptures that goes with another point from another chapter to another book, right? But you will never know it until you start keeping the commandments and he start activating wisdom and knowledge and understanding, where you will start to get these words and it'll start becoming more and more clearer to you, right? All right, so let's go to Isaiah 28:10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. All right? So that's the way to read the Bible, right? That's how we understand this doctrine. Matter of fact, show you one way to do it. Like, let's go up one, all right? So we can get it in this context, right? Okay, let's go to verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. You see that? So you have to get this milk first, okay? Because you're not going to understand. If we go all the way into other topics like the moon and all of that, you're not going to understand and get it because you're not weaned from the milk yet. So we must humble down and start back giving milk, right? We got to start back giving milk to our brothers and sisters, because some we be thinking is caught up and they're not. And that's okay. That's okay. All we have to do is just go back to the basics and refill them in of where they at and who they are, right? All right, so we're going to go to, I'm going to read it again, verse 10. I'm going to read it all the way down in this context, right? Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. You see that? That's how you read the book, okay? Watch this, and it's going to even show you, even for the beginners, don't never be afraid to put out these words, all right? Everybody's not going to sound eloquent. Everybody's not going to sound super versed in knowledge in this. But the Lord say, try with the best of your spirit that he puts in you. And trust me, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it, and the more you'll be able to break it down, because you're studying to show yourself approved, right? Verse 11. With stammering lips and with another tongue will he speak to his people. Now, the Christian church make you think that it's talking about, all that goofy mess, right? But it's not talking about that. It's saying with another tongue, meaning there's going to be people that speak Spanish that's going to teach you about the Bible. Somebody that's not speaking German, there's blacks over in Germany, right? That's going to be teaching his people the Bible. It says with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people. That doesn't mean you're talking gibberish. The Lord says if you're speaking in another tongue and there's no one to interpret what you're saying, then you're talking foolishness. All right? So let's get back to the basics so we can find out who we are. Now, let's go to Deuteronomy so we can get it in its context. Deuteronomy 1:1. So we can see who the Lord was talking to, right? All right, here's Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan in the wilderness. You see that? So to let you know in Deuteronomy who it's talking about. It's not talking about the whole earth. It's not talking about the whole world. All right? Let's get this out of our head. This book was not for everyone. They took your book and said it was for everyone. Doesn't make it for everyone. There's nowhere in here where you're going to hear the Lord loves everyone. The Lord don't love everyone. All right? I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but you got to swallow it, because the salvation is not for everyone. It's for the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right? These are the people that were robbed and spoiled, thus saith the Lord. Okay? So now, let's go to Deuteronomy 28, and let's read some of the things that the Lord was going to do. to his children or for his children, depending on how we was obedient, right? So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations. You see that? The Lord said if we would do his commandments, he will set us above all nations. Now I have a question for you. If we're meant to all be the same and we was all created equal, then why does it say it right here that we will be above all nations? That means the Most High has a favorite. I know it's a shock to your melon right now, but it's the truth. The Lord has a favorite. Let's be real. If you got more than one kid, I know it might seem rude and sound rude, but it's not. We get it from our Father. Every kid you have ain't your favorite. You love them all, true, but you have a favorite. Believe it or not. All right? You have a favorite. There's one child that you do a little bit more and a little bit better for than you do for the other kids. And guess what? The other kids notice it. And it don't, most of the time it don't bother them because they know you're loving them too. But it is what it is, all right? We're going to keep reading because now the Lord is going to get specific of what's going to happen if we, just like in a parent's house, if we're bad things are going to happen to us, right? If we're good things are going to happen to us. All right, so let's read verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. So let's stop right there. For one, let's look at the root word of hearken. What is hearken? Hear, right? So now let's go back and read it again and just use the root word. All these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hear unto the voice of the Lord thy God. All right, thy Abba, man. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. The Lord said everywhere we was going to go through the city was going to be blessed, right? Any business that we would build or go through was going to flourish, just going to be successful overnight. You know how you hear overnight success? That was meant for us. All right, let's keep reading. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, and the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Let's stop again. The Lord is saying, blessed will be even the children that come out of your body. If you plant a seed in the ground, the Lord said he was going to make that thing blessed. You was going to have abundance of whatever you planted, right? Then he said if you had cattle, they was going to be blessed. The animals that they have was going to be blessed. These are the things that the Lord said he was going to bless. Anything we touch, you know that old saying, the Midas touch, everything you touch turns gold. Literally, that was going to be us. All right? Let's keep reading. Verse 5. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. The Lord said he was going to have your enemies was not going to even be able to stand against you without you even knowing that the Lord was going to already handle it. All praises to the Father. And I want this. This doesn't mean that this is over. We just broke this being hard-headed, stubborn, and stiff-necked. Right? Let's keep reading. Verse 8. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thine hand unto. There go the Midas touch right there, right? And he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Everywhere you go, the Lord was going to bless it. You was going to be cursed with a blessing, which I'm just being sarcastic, but you was going to be blessed. Everything you do was going to be successful. All right, imagine every jump shot it went in with you. All right, that's what the Lord is saying that we were going to be. All right. I actually don't like reading these ones because it kind of makes me pissed off, man, because these are the things we want to live like this in this world and miss out on this. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord gave it to our enemies. That's why everything they do be successful most of the time, right? But it's filled with wickedness. But anyways, I digress. Let's read verse 9. And this is going to show you that the Lord has a favorite, right? Verse 9. The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he have sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments, right? If thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy Abba, and walk in all his ways. All right? Verse 10. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by thy name, by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. The people right now are not afraid of us, right? The Lord said when they would see us, they would be afraid of us because they would know who it is. They would automatically respect you. Do we get that respect today? No, we do not. We do not get that respect today, Israel. I'm here to tell you. Now, you can keep reading down to verse, 15, but when you get to 15, things is going to go left, right? Right? Things is going to go left because now the Lord going to tell you the curses, right? But let the Lord say it better than I can say it, right? Verse 15. Skip down to verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Right? You see that? The Lord said that all these curses are going to come upon us and overtake us. Now let's jump around and dig into here and see some of the curses that the Lord put on us. And then we'll see, do it fit a certain people or do this fit everybody on the earth? Let's just see. All right. Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Stop. When we come into places, who looks at us like, oh my God, here come these niggas? They can't stand the sight of us when we come places. When you move in a neighborhood, remember that old saying back in the day, there goes the neighborhood? That was made up for when we moved into certain areas. Cursed shall we be in the city. Now, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Who's the last hired and the first fired? That sounds familiar, don't it? Does that apply to the Chinese man? Do that apply to the Arab man? No, because they got business and stores in your neighborhoods. This sounds like this applied to a certain people. But I'm going to keep reading. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. When we see these moms and pop neighborhoods that was open in our neighborhoods, you see like little black neighborhood, business open. Did that business flourish and now they got a chain of mom and pop stores all over the place? No. You want to know why? Verse 17. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. We never blow up past a certain point, y'all. All right? Verse 18. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, and the increase of thy kind, and the flock of thy sheep. When we have kids, don't they go through stressful things now? Because the same hatred they have for you, they also have for your kids, and your kids' kids, and your kids' kids. Sounds like a generational curse to me of a certain people. Let's keep reading. Verse 19. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. When we go into places, like I just said before, they can't stand when we come in there. I was at a restaurant, right? I drive trucks, and I go all over the states, right? and I went to a counter to order me something. I don't really do restaurants anymore, so I was ordering something that I could recognize, which would be chicken, right? And this greasy, cockeyed Edomite just kept walking back and forth past the cash register, making sure he didn't take my order. Back and forth, back and forth. And the guy that's riding with me, he's an Edomite too, and he walked up and said, "Wow, no one's taking our order?" And I wanted to say so badly because I'm on the plantation, so I can't. But I looked at him like, no, he's not taking our order. He's not taking my order. I wanted to say that so bad. And then this lady walked up and took my order. And it took everything that lied within me to not pull him across the counter, right? Because that's what the old me would have done. And I have to die daily, right? I have to humble myself and take it, man, right? I have to take it. And it took everything out of me. I'm just, you ever get in a situation where you just visualizing the ass whooping? I was already just, it was delicious to me. And then I had to humble myself with scripture and restrain myself, man. I die daily, y'all. I'm human just like the next person, right? Just because I sit here and I read you, thus saith the Lord, we go through things also. We have challenges daily also. All right, so we're going to keep going. And the good thing is I had to take it in. And guess what? And I took in that food of the scriptures that I know where he say, it's going to be a day where we dash their youngs upon the stones. Yes, that's beautiful. So, but I'm going to stop because, our milk drinkers don't know about those scriptures yet, right? So let's get back on to it. Let's get back to it, right? All right. So now let's go. Let's do a little jumping around, right? Let's go down in the same chapter. We're going to stay in the same chapter. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 54, right? Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54. And let's see some curses and see do it still apply to a certain people, right? All right. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Now, let's slow down, Israel. What nation of people is known to leave their kids behind? Which nation of people is known to kill each other? You ain't nothing nice to me and you. Oh, I'm a beast in the streets to other Negroes, right? But then when it could be two nerdy peasy guys pull up with some cherries and berries on the top of their car, whoop, whoop, and 900 Negroes will scatter running. But to each other, we're the Terminator. The Lord said that was going to happen to his children, who are called the Israelites, right? Let's keep reading. Let's just see, do this sound like a certain people, right? I don't want to even go off track. I'm going to keep it within this context, and we're going to keep going. Let's read some more. I want to read some more. Let's go down to 56, right? Let's go to 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward her husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. Let's stop again. What nation of people that has baby daddy, baby mama drama? That always say these niggas ain't shit. I just gotta say it plain. What nation of people is known to talk about and down their own generation, their own nation of people? I have yet to hear a Chinese man say these chinks ain't shit. I kill a chink. I haven't heard an Arab man sing a song saying these Arabs ain't shit. I shoot down an Arab. I kill his ass. Or a white person say these hunkies ain't ish. These are Edomite women ain't nothing but bitches and hoes. We the only nation of people that down our own kind because we're damaged. They did a good job with damaging us. I got to clap to that one. Bravo, Esau, but you won't win. You did a nice job of damaging my people. Bravo, stand up work. The Lord said he was going to put the worst as last. The nastiest, the foulest people on the planet, he was going to put them because we didn't want to follow him. And just like a real dad would say, oh, you don't want to follow my rules? Then get out of my house and go follow them. We get that from our Abba. Who's having, they have a billboard that says, the worst place for a black man is in the womb of a woman. Her eyes shall be evil toward her husband and toward her son and toward her daughter. The abortion rate is out the roof with what nation of people? Let's read further just to see, because a lot of people will say you taken out of context, but the Bible don't go out of context. We do. Let's go to verse 57. And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet. Now you get the understanding of what it's talking about. And toward her children which she shall bear. She's going to hate her kids. I've even seen women call their kids little bitch. You ain't nothing. You just like your no good ass daddy. Destroy people. Destroy. Destroy. Watch this. Verse 58. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, in case we want to keep on saying that the Lord is saying do this and do that in the spirit. No, he's not. He gets very specific. All right? He gets very specific. Let's read it again. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, the Lord thy God. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. You see that? You see that? That's what the Lord said he was going to do to us. That's what the Lord is doing to us, right? Let's read verse 60. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. You see that? Now, people start getting slick and say, well, AIDS ain't in the Bible, and gonorrhea and this and that ain't in the Bible. So how we know that's the Lord? Let's get to it. Verse 61. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. Is it clear enough to you? Is it clear? Can you see it? That's what the Lord is doing to us, people. Right? Let's skip down. Right? Let's go to 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy father have known, even wood and stone. Got a question for you, Israel. In the Christian church, when we walk in, what is a big wooden object that a lot of our people worship? 9 times out of 10, if you still consider yourself a Christian, you have it even on your end of your chains. To my Islam brothers, who is really Israelites but think they're Islam, what stone do you represent and do you worship? I'll give you a hint. It's over in Mecca. This Bible does not miss Israel. It's not here to play with us either, right? It's not here to play with us. It's for us to get ourselves in order. A lot of people like to run off on grace. I explain this every time. Grace is time given to you to get your shit together. I just got to say it in them terms. But it's time to give you to get yourself together to prepare for the return of your king. It's funny how we know all of these terms when it's outside of the book. We know all of these terms when it's somewhere else. But once again, when it gets to the Bible, we think it means something mystical and all. No. If it's plain in the world, it's plain in the book. The Lord said, make it plain upon tables. He didn't say make it mystical and magical and means 900 different. No. If you don't pay your phone bill and you call in crying to your masters and they give you a grace period, what is the grace period? That give you an X amount of time to pay that bill off before what happens? Your line gets cut off. It's the same thing in the scriptures. We have an X amount of time to start keeping these commandments, or our lifeline, is going to get cut off. Do with it what you will, Israel. But I'm here to tell you, I don't want my line cut off, because cut off means death and burning in all eternity, man. I don't want that smoke. I tell y'all that every chance I get, right? So let's read verse 66, right? And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. Wouldn't people that get out here on the streets and say, I got a hard time even, knowing I'm going to make it back home or not. When you're driving down the streets and you see those lights pop up behind you in your rear view, for a second you get a little bit of fear over your heart, don't you? And say, Lord, please don't let me go to jail tonight. Please don't let me get shot by this cop tonight. Right? That's having doubt and no assurance of your own life. We don't look at our rearview mirrors like other nations. Say, oh my God, the good guys in blue, they're coming to save us. And so what's the problem, guys? And have no sense of fear in their hearts. But there's a nation of people that when we see that, we know this thing can go left or this thing can go right. Let's keep reading. In the morning thou shalt say, would Yahweh it were even. And at even thou shalt say, would Yahweh it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. The Lord said, when nighttime, we were like, Lord, I wish it was day. Then when the day comes, you turn around and say, Lord, I wish it was night. It'd be all over in the morning. Remember those sayings? That's us. That's us all the way, Israel. There's no assurance of life for us. When we walk out our front doors, it's a chance we don't come back home on a regular damn day. Let's read this verse. Let's read verse 68 and see who did this remind you of, Israel, right? Let's read verse 68 and see who this sounds like. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I speak unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Right? Buy you means, it's an old Quaker word, means to redeem you. Okay? The Lord shall bring you into Egypt again with ships is another name called Mizraim, means a place of bondage, right? Out of the house of bondage. So when he said bringing you into Egypt again, means slavery, right? That's what that means. So when you hear him say that, that's what the Lord is talking about, right? But I'm going to pull the scripture up so you can even know what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is how you do the precepts. When you don't get a certain situation, let's use this for example. If you ask yourself, okay, what does Deuteronomy 28 and 68 means? Out of the land of Egypt. Now, this is the part where Isaiah come into play. You use precept, right, to get the understanding of one situation. You have to jump over to another. So let's go to Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. And here goes a precept to let you know what Egypt is, right? Verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You see that? So that lets you know that Egypt means bondage. All right? It doesn't mean we was going back into the Egypt, with all the Egyptians and all that mess, right? That's what that's letting you know. So when you go to Exodus 20 and 2, it lets you know what Egypt was. It means bondage, right? All right, so let's go back to 28 and 68 again and read it again, and we can get the context of what he's talking about. And the Lord shall bring thee into slavery again with ships. When we was in Egypt, what were we over there? Now, you got a lot of Kemet Negroes coming out talking about we was kings and pharaohs and stuff over there. No, you wasn't a damn pharaoh. You was the slave, Negro. You was the slave. So when the Lord compared us to Egypt, we were going back into slavery again. Now I got to ask you, what nation of people was sent to slavery? And it's known in every country, every land, a certain people got sent into slavery on slave ships. Do that apply to when you hear slave ships, do you automatically think, oh, that sounds like Chinese men? Or do you automatically think, wait a minute, that sounds like Arab men, Asian men, European men? No, you think of one nation of people when you hear slave ships. When you hear Negro spirituals and all those songs and we shall overcome, you think of one nation of people. Right? But I digress, man. Let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. We're gonna jump around, y'all. And let's scroll up now. Back to where I wanna go. 23. Let's go to verse 23, Israel. Let's just get some more. Right now we just freestyling. Because this whole area shows you us. You can read this for yourself. Whenever you get a chance, read this whole thing. And it's going to sound like one nation of people. Let's read it. In thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. I got a question, man. Who's known to have those sayings, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place? This is saying it. That's why no matter how much you succeed, you never could just get to the top. The Lord just said he has brass over your head. You ain't going to get nowhere without keeping them commandments. You can't escape it. You can't escape. You can move to another country. I hear Israel saying move to another country. But why they don't flourish once they get over there? You in the same position, Negro, that you was when you was here. Because that curse going to follow you wherever you go. Remember, curse when thou go in the city, and curse when thou goest out. You're going to be hated by all nations. There's no escaping this. You might find somewhere where it's a little bit less, and people smile in your face and a little more scandalous behind your back doesn't mean that they love you. They just more quieter about it, hating you. All right? Watch this. Let's keep reading. Where I want to go with this one. Let's go down to verse 25. And the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. I'm going to say this again. How many people have been killed before us, and there's nothing we could do about it? It was a man by the name of George Floyd. Got choked out while his brother was on the sideline with a phone, recording the shit. Excuse my language, but I mean it. Recording while this man called out to his dead mama. That's a nation of people. The Lord said that's a curse. We became cowards. Now when you get around people, brother, don't say this. You're being too harsh. You're being too this. We're the only nation of people that's got to be the softest people on the damn planet. We got to watch what we say. We got to not say this, not say that. Maybe so, I don't know. We got to be soft, effeminate. Now it done turned most of our men into girls and most of the girls into men because they got to wear the pants, which is a sin against the Lord. You can't make this stuff up, man. This is a certain people, right? Let's get it now. I want to read this again, and we're going to get the precept on this one, right? The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go but one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. Once again, I ask you, who always acting so damn gangster, but then when it could be 2 polices pull up, 2 men in a car, and 900 Negroes flee? What happened to you not being no joke? No, you know what the problem is? You are a joke. It takes a weak man to be a beast to his own kind, but you a pussycat to everyone else. White man asks you something, you, yes, sir. No, sir. No, I'm just being a killer to my own people. You're a coward. You're a coward, right? Let's get a precept on that. Let's go to Leviticus 26 and 36. Let's get a precept. This is how you read the Bible, right? Leviticus 26, chapter 26 and verse 36. And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their hearts in the land of their enemies, and a sound of a shaking leaf shall chase them, and they shall flee as fleeing from a sword, and they shall fall when none pursueth. Who did that sound like? When none pursueth. At the shaking of a leaf. What's the little saying we used to have? Let 2 people get up and run right now. We ain't gonna even ask what happened. We're gonna just get up and run with them. They had a challenge they used to do on the internet where it showed some black boys just come past running. And black people just get up and just ran. Just got up and ran. You know why? Because the Lord said this. And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their hearts, and in the lands of their enemies. And the sound of a shaken leaf shall chase them. I even was a part of this situation when you're walking down the street at night, and you hear ch-ch in the bushes. You would take off running. You just running your ass off. You could, oh man, whew, that probably was a dog or something. We even make up a story after that. Oh, it probably was a dog or somebody was finna try to kill me. The Lord said he put a faintness into our hearts. We're not mighty men anymore. This Bible don't miss, because in this book he's talking about a certain people though. He's talking about a certain people is going to be like this. Like I said, when the police pull up, he said, and they shall flee as fleeing from a sword. We run like there's a gun already pulled out when we heard that shaking of a leaf. Or when we see them, we can see the police ride past. I done seen people change their whole direction and go back another way just because they seen a car ride past. That's a certain people, Israel, right? Watch this, verse 37. And they shall fall one upon another, as it were before a sword, and none pursueth, and ye shall have no power to stand before your enemies. When people running, don't they fall all over each other? They won't even turn back around and try to help you up. They just take off. Every man for himself, right? And we have no power. They can kill us right now, and we won't do nothing but go grab a picket sign and write on there, hands up, don't shoot, and we standing out. We shall overcome. And they sitting there with popcorn, laughing, enjoying the show. Because they know they can shoot our nigga ass another day and get on the stage, on stage, you might well call it, but it's on the stand, and cry, oh, I feared for my life. This black guy that had nothing on him, and I had all these weapons on me. I was so scared of him. Rawr, he was like a monster coming at me. And they just shoot the hell out of you, man. And get off. Get a slap on the head. Let's keep reading this, man. Let's keep reading. We're going to go to, let's go back to 28. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 28. And verse, let me see, where did we finish off at? Let's go to 26. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 26. All right. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all the fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. You want to know what that means? There was a song that came out in the 1930s called Strange Fruit. And their carcass was meat. Our bodies was meat for the animals. You can't make this stuff up, Israel. It's time to come back to our Father. This stuff is finna get even worse. You think it's a game? It's finna get even worse. But I digress. Let's skip down to verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. You see that? Forever oppressed. What nation of people could be sitting in their front room eating ice cream? And a white woman can come in and say, oh my God, you're in my house, and shoot you. Bang, bang, bang. Dead. Dead. And we so destroyed, the brother of that person said, can I go and hug her, please? Can I go hug my master? And the judge rubbed the little white woman's hair and gave her a Bible. Tell this all right, you only killed the nigga. We are a destroyed people. We are a destroyed people, Israel. We are blind. We don't know who our enemies are. That's why the Lord said we're going to be groping at noonday. That's you going around. You don't know who you is. You don't know who the Father is. You think Christ is a white man with stringy dog hair and blue eyes. You calling yourself after two white forefathers, Leo Scipio Africanus and Amerigo Vespucci. I'm an African American, or I'm a Crip, a Blood, a GD. You everything but the Lord's Son. You everything but the Son of the Most High God, a prince, a king upon the earth. We rather call us every damn thing disgraceful, but something that means something. You can't make this stuff up, Israel. I lie not. You can't make this stuff up, Israel. It is making me sick to my stomach of how far we have fallen. You can go on any Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and just type in people doing stupid things. And a lot of our people will pop up on there doing the dumbest stuff just for someone to push a like button. Bloop. Not give you no money, not show you no love. Just push the button. Bloop. Because they're laughing at you for being an ignorant fool. Verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. What nation of people, once again, was put into a certain time where a man can come and sell your wife or lay with your wife, and there was nothing you could do about it but just be mad. There was nothing you could do about it but just be a pissed off Negro. They can care less about that, right? It was nothing. Your words, what you gonna hit me with your words? They have no power. But the Lord's words have all power, right? Who built the White House? That's crazy that a bunch of Negroes built that house that they call the White House, and they had the audacity to call it that. To make Negroes mad, probably. Call it the White House. Built by slaves. There's no Negroes that live up in that house. Who built a lot of these houses? Who built the pyramids over in Egypt? And the Negroes didn't get the chance to stay in those. Built them. Thank you, Negro. Now go out there in your shack and go to sleep and wait for another day for me to put you back to work. Right? Who was picking the cotton fields, the sugar cane fields? Were they able to pick that stuff and say, ooh, yeah, we're going to go home and have us a nice dinner or make us a nice quilt to keep ourselves warm? You would think all the cotton that our people made, you would think of all places, we at least have a damn discount on all cotton items for the work that was put in. But then has the audacity, a nation of people has the audacity to call you lazy after working your ass to the bone for 250 years of free labor, but then turn around and call you lazy, you and your people. You can't make this stuff up, Israel. You can't make this shit up, right? Let's read verse 32. Let's go to verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no more might in thine hand. There shall be no might in thine hand. What nation of people again, Israel? Children was given into another people. I'm going to give you, and a lot of people think that was only just then. It's still today. It's one name we can say. They can come and get your kid right now. Let someone call CPS on you, Child Protective Services, and they come and say, man, we just coming to check and see is the child okay? And they can take her if they feel like it. If they could just not like you and say, well, I think she's in a bad household and environment, and snatch your kid out your hand, it ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thine hand. The Bible is a true book, people. The Bible is a true book. It's time to get with it and quit playing with the Lord. Right? Let's keep reading. Let's skip down to verse 36. Let's skip down to verse 36. No, I already read this one. I think I already read this one. No, let's read 36 because it goes back into what I was saying earlier. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. I just read that one about the wood and stone. What's the wood and stone again, people? That Christian cross and that Kaaba stone. And it's other deities too. You got Buddha and all that other crap. The Lord said he was going to set a people over you, and they was going to make you worship their gods. Now, when you look at a picture of what so-called Jesus, It's a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. But according to Revelations 1 and 14, that shoe don't fit. It speaks of a dark-skinned man. But guess what? Soon you try to tell your brothers and sisters that that ain't the real Christ. I don't want to hear all that now. I don't want to. But then we'll go into church and be clapping all day to the white dude hanging up there on a tree on a wooden cross because you don't want to hear truth. You rather stay asleep, right? You rather stay asleep. It's some that's bucking against this because they don't want to wake. You know, a lot of people just want to stay asleep. All right. And the Lord uses that term because we have our eyes open, but we don't see a lot of things that are coming before us. You ever heard the old saying, the Lord comes as a thief in the night? This is to the new eyes. We know what that means, but to the new eyes, they don't know what that means, right? So we're going to get a precept to the thief in the night. The Lord comes as a thief in the night, but let's see who it comes as a thief in the night to, right? Let's go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. And is there always an answer for every situation in the book? This is the answer to the thief in the night. I'm going to read it and see, can you make sense of what it's saying? Is the thief in the night for everyone, right? All right. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. But of times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Here we go. Now, Paul is going to break that down of what he's talking about, what the Lord was saying. For when they shall say peace and safety and sudden destruction, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Now here goes the answer. Verse 4. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Why? Verse 5. Ye are all children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. So the Lord is telling you that thief in the night theory is coming to a person that are asleep. It's coming to the people that are asleep in the world. It's not coming to us if we're watching the seasons and the times, we knowing what's lining up and what's about to come, right? Let's read some more. Verse 6. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. Right? Verse 8. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet the hope of salvation. Right? A lot of people don't know that the thief in the night is coming to those who are asleep. Right? It's coming to those who are asleep. We have a time, right, that we can escape if we keep the Lord's commandments. Right? Let's read verse 9. For Yahweh have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahushua Hamashiach. You see that? That was a little one for you. I served only Yahweh only. I'm God only. I don't believe Jesus came and died for. Yeah, nigga, you gonna deal with that on your own. All right, you're gonna deal with that when you stand before the one that came to save us. It's nothing worse than offending the one that come to give you salvation and stand before the Father and plead your cause. Our Father is no joke. And Christ came to plead our cause for that. And you're going to tell that man that you don't believe he's there to save us, he's going to stand right aside and say, here you go, Father. Everything he did against you. And see how that works, man. I don't think it's going to work out that good. But I digress. Let's go back to Deuteronomy. Let's go back to Deuteronomy. Where I want to go with this one now. 'Cause I'm just pulling them as I see them, y'all. Like I told you, I'm pretty much freestyling this because I know Deuteronomy through in and throughout. But a lot of our people do not, right? So this is why we giving them milk today, y'all, right? So let's continue giving them milk. Where was I? Let's do Deuteronomy 28 and 28. Let's go there. I want to go there, right? The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. Who walks around here with all these fruity colors in their hair, looking like Teletubbies, still calling themselves hoes, bitches? You got some guys walking around here calling themselves hoes and bitches, right? That is smitten with madness. Who does some of the dumbest stuff for likes and approvals? That's a madness, astonishment. People are astonished when they see us. These the children of the Most High God? Other nations, a lot of other nations know who you are, and that's what they look at us. That's why sometimes you see some Edomite somewhere off in the distance looking at you with the disgust on his face, because more than likely he probably know who you are. And he know you don't know who you are. You call yourself everything but the chosen children of the Most High God, man. That's astonishment, man. Blindness. You calling yourself an African American, or you got some conscious dummies. They want to say, "Oh, I'm a Moor." Okay, dude, Moor just means black. You are black? Come on, silly. You're an Israelite. Moors changed their names from Israelites to Moors when they was, running in captivity and hiding and all other type of things, man. They changed their names because the Lord had this curse on us. A lot of people did things for survival, and you're using it to wear it as a badge of honor. Make it make sense, man. All right? Make it make sense. It's ridiculous, man. You can't make this stuff up, y'all. But I just want to hit one or two more, and then I'll just close it out with that. All right. I'm gonna find one or two more, y'all. Salaki. Because when you read the curses, you can read the whole thing, and it's us. It's us, right? Watch this. I'm gonna pull another one. It's another one I pulled out a while ago. And it made me laugh, right? Because I be sometimes having pains in my knee and stuff like that, right? And like one of my knees. And I was reading Deuteronomy because I still go back here and drink milk too, and I ran across it and it just had me laugh, and I was just like, all praises to the Father for showing me. Yes, this is a humbling walk, and the Lord will sometimes chastise you even in these scriptures. So this is the one I found. Go to Deuteronomy 28:35. Same chapter, just scroll up to 35. This is wonderful. I'm sorry. This is beautiful. Okay. The Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. So when you sit here and you thinking about your body and you having back pains, leg pains, foot pains, whatever pains, it's because we're wearing a suit that's cursed. The Lord said it, but it's only for a minimum time, y'all. We think it's a long time because we in it. The Lord said no one thinks chastisement is good while they're going through it. But the Lord said this is for improving us. It's not for our fall, y'all. This is to improve us because we were once gods upon the earth, and we still are gods upon the earth. But when you have a punishment from the God, you got to take a God ass whooping. Any other nation would be exterminated by now, would be extinct. I once watched this geographic show where it was an Edomite said it. If any other nation of people would have went through at least like 50% of what blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans went through, they would be extinct by now. You know why we won't be extinct? Because the Lord brings us back. We don't die, we multiply. right? We multiply because we are gods, and we take an ass whooping of a god. Other nations would be extinct if they got whooped from the one true God, right? So I want to read this other one, man, and I'm going to close out with it. Let's take a little visit into your Apocrypha. Let's go to the Baruch, the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 6. No, let's go to chapter 4, verse 5, right? Let's go to chapter. I want to, you know what? Let's skip it. Let's go to book of Baruch, chapter 4, and verse 3. Let's just read it in this context, right? I just want to read it because this is all good food, even to the new eyes, right? Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation, right? So that goes into like, laying with these other nations, of giving your honor and things that are profitable to other nations, man. Which means your seed too. Don't lay with these other nations, man. And if you have already, you got a kid already, that's your bloodline. If you're a man, that's your bloodline. That child can still be saved and through the Lord if you keeping the commandments, right? All right, but the lady that you lay with, there's no salvation for her, right? But we're gonna keep reading on. O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to Yahweh are made known unto us. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. Now the Lord is going to tell us what this was all about. Because the Lord didn't put us into slavery and put all these curses on us because he hates us. No, you spank someone that you love because you want them to be right. You want them to get right. The Lord knows what he's doing. He's the perfect Father. And he gave us Yahushai, which is what people call Christ, Jesus, which is the perfect big brother, the perfect king, right? They know what they're doing. And I trust them. And I need you to trust them, right? Verse 6, ye were sold to nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved Yahweh to wrath. Ye were delivered unto the enemies. Verse 7, for ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils, and not to Yahweh. Right? Let's keep reading. Ye have forgotten the everlasting Yahweh, Abba, that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. For when she saw the wrath of God coming upon you, she said, hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion. God have brought upon me great mourning. That's what Israel, his daughter, is saying for us, man. That's what she's saying for us. Watch this. For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them. With joy did I nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning. Right? Let no man rejoice over me with a widow, rejoice over me, a widow and forsaking of many, whom for the sins of my children am left desolate, because they departed from the law of Yahweh. And that's what I want to close out with. We departed from God, y'all, and it's time to come back. It's time to get back in these laws, statutes, and commandments, and this thing will shift. We're already going through the shift. It's all depending on whether you want to be on the top or you want to be on the bottom of this next salvation to come. And this is the last one, and it's not over, right? Put some respect on our Father's name. We got next. So with that being said, Israel, I love y'all. Shalom.